I call this long-term investing in the stock market. I like to also call it, financial freedom on saving £1 a day. I always say that not everyone can be a trader because it takes a certain kind of personality, or even if you don't have that personality, you need to change who you are to become a good trader. Because unfortunately, to be a good trader, you have to become a certain type of person. Keep your emotions in check, be disciplined, be focused, and obviously you can see with reports coming out at different times of the day, the market can be active at different times of the day. Unfortunately, being a trader is not a 9-to-5 job. Things happen at different times. Like I told you, because you saw at 12:30 at night, I was trading because of the Australian report coming out. Midday, we have the Bank of Interest rates coming out. So your day, you just have to be able to structure your day and be organized and juggle things around. So if that can be a nightmare for most people. So yes, you can learn these things. You can learn to be a trader, but it's very difficult. But when it comes to investing, I always say everyone should be an investor. Because everyone should be an investor, because this is low risk, sensible, and practical, and very important in terms of preparing for the long term and preparing for your future. So I always say everyone should be an investor. Again, remember, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. So same with trading, it's the same with investing. If you don't know about investing, you get yourself into trouble. Again, I'm talking again from a private investor point of view. So I cut through the jargon and just do what's practical, do what is, what makes me money and what can give me financial wealth. So I keep things simple and practical and how you can apply it. Now, in order for you to become a successful long-term investor, you need to develop the following 4 skills. You need these 4 skills to be a good investor. In fact, to be financially astute and to be financially wealthy, you need to have these skills. They are crucial skills in becoming successful. The first skill is you have to know how to value money. You have to know how to value money. Because if you don't value money, you won't know how to control it. You have to know how to control money. Because there's a fact, the stated fact is that everyone in this room is going to become a lifetime millionaire. You're all going to become lifetime millionaires, meaning from the time you were born till the time you retire, hopefully in a ripe old age of your late 80s, £1 million would have flown through your life. And that's a fact. £1 million would have flown through your life from the time you're born till the time you leave this earth in your late 80s or 90s. So you're all going to be lifetime millionaires. But the big problem is that that's exactly what happens to the vast majority of people. The money just flows through. It comes in and just goes out. Whereas those who are successful, the money comes in, they stop it leaking, they invest it wisely, and they grow it. And that's how they become rich. Some people make this mistake of thinking that you can become wealthy. I need a loan, I need someone to give me money, I don't have money, I'm from a poor background. The question is that you can become wealthy from what is coming into your life now. And again, I use myself as an example because when I went bankrupt and lost all my properties and my house, my cars, everything went, no one would give me a penny because obviously as a bankrupt, you won't get a single penny. But from the little I had, I was able to grow the business 10 times over than it was before because of applying these principles of money skills. So it's about what are you doing with the money, the time, and things you have now. So that's the key. So you have to know how to control money. Because if you can control money, then you can save it, and you have to know how to save money. And when I say save money, I don't mean going to put money in a savings account. I mean save it as in, being aware of how you spend money. You know, can you buy something cheaper somewhere else? Can you be more, are you more discreet with the way you spend money? Or, you know, do you just spend money discreetly without being aware of how you can get it cheaper somewhere, how you can be more cost effective in the way you spend? And finally, how to invest money. So these are the 4 skills you need to become a good long-term investor. You have to know how to value money, how to control money, how to save money, and finally, how to invest money. Yeah. So this is what we'll be concentrating on today. The other skills you need if you want to be a multi-billionaire is how to make it. Like I said, we're concentrating on the first 4, but just for sake of completion, you have to know how to make it. Investment is money for the future, and that's what we're going to concentrate on this section. But the other one is how to make it, which is whereby you're now making money for today. That's where the trading comes in, you know, day trading, swing trading, options trading, real estate, you know, businesses and all that. That's how to make money. But we're not going to be talking about that today. How to shield it. You have to know how to shield it. It's very important. I found from experience it's very easy to make money. Like I said, spend my time teaching people now how to make money. It's very easy to make money, but I also found out from being bankrupt it's very easy to lose it. So I learned the hard way that you have to learn how to shield your wealth. So now the wealth I've now created again, they're well protected and they're shielded. It's very important you know how to shield your wealth. And finally, you have to know how to share it. It's not all about Bentleys and the crystal champagne and stuff. You have to know how to share it. Yet charity begins at home. You know, you have to make sure you're comfortable, your family are comfortable, you've got the best you want. But from the excess you have, you know, think about helping others. So you have to know how to share it. But we're going to concentrate on the first 4. So you all know about compound interest. According to Albert Einstein, the greatest mathematical invention known to man, compound interest. So prosperous people earn compound interest. Prosperous people are always looking to see how their money can generate compound interest and work well for them. And that's how they become wealthy. They're looking for how, you know, what interest can I get on this money? What are the returns I can get on my investment? Poor people pay compound interest. So poor people are always in debt, always getting loans, credit cards, and getting themselves into debt. And forever it's a vicious cycle. So I always advise people to, you know, make sure you're moving away from where you are paying compound interest to where you are earning compound interest. There's another quote from Warren Buffett. It says, "My wealth has come from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest." Because that's how you can just quietly become a millionaire with you just earning interest on your interest. Now, this is a table on showing you the value of a pound and why a pound is so important. You know, saving a pound a day can generate you £1 million. That's 30 pounds a month. It can generate you £1 million if you save at these interest rates. You can always go online. There are compound interest calculators you can work out for yourself and set your own targets. But this is an average I've just brought out for you, that if you save £1 a day, 30 pounds a month, at an interest rate of 3%, you'll have £1 million in 150 years. If you save it at an interest rate of 5%, this is per annum, you get £1 million in 101 years. You save £1 a day or 30 pounds a month at an interest rate of 10%, you have £1 million in 59 years. Now you can see that's within your lifetime. That's within your lifetime. If you save it at an interest rate of 15%, you get £1 million in 43 years. And an interest rate of 20% in 35 years, you get £1 million. Now, as you all know, most savings accounts, most cash ISAs, they're all 0.0% to about 3%. Inflation rate is about 3.7%. So basically, if you have your money anywhere that is earning you less than 3.7%, you're actually losing money. So it's a question of you now looking for where you can get good return on your investment. Now let's look at 10%. Because I'll show you how you can get 10%. I mean, you can get higher percentage when you get into this and you take this seriously, but conservatively, let's stick with 10%. Now, 10%, £1 a day, £30 a month, at an interest rate of 10%, you have £1 million in 59 years. How can you shorten that duration? Any guesses? Exactly. It's as simple as that. So if you say 59 years is too long, then you have to increase it from £1 a day or increase it from £30 a month. Where are you going to get that money from? Where's the money going to come from? Any guesses? No guesses. The money is going to come from your current expenses, because this is how you now value a pound. You know, when you want to buy a cup of coffee from Starbucks, you think to yourself, you know, if I drink this cup of coffee, it just goes in and comes out, or do I put that money in my investment account so I can shorten the duration? And this is why I'm saying that you can become very rich from what you have now. It's just a question of what are you doing with the money? Do you know the value of that pound you're spending or throwing away? Because put in the right place, that pound you've thrown away could earn you millions in the future. Yeah? So you have to know how to control your money. So it's important to document your income and expenses, because with a clear picture of your finances, you can see where you can save money. I'll just show you this. This is simple. Again, I don't like to complicate things. I just like to keep things simple. I'm a very simple person, and I don't like complicated stuff. This is just a straightforward income and expense spreadsheet. So your income goes there, and your expenses go there. Now, this is all set up in monthly segments. So this is your monthly, regular monthly expense. So I always say, let's just assume this is a married couple with one kid. Their total combined income after tax from their salary is £2,500. I always tell people that this is just a rough guide. If they want, they can do this exercise specifically for their own self and do it down to the last penny. And I always advise people to do that. So you can see his expenses. That's his income. So his expenses, they're all there. You know, his tithes, offerings, mortgage, his council tax, school fees, professional subscription, loan 1, loan 2, credit card 1, credit card 2. Don't forget there's a husband and wife. Telephone bill, mobile phone bills, water bill. You know, car insurance, housing insurance, TV license, personal allowance for spouse 1, personal allowance for spouse 2, groceries, clothes, charity giving, gifts, holiday, petrol, entertainment. So you can see from that list, there's nothing really exciting there. These are all normal day-to-day living expenses. And you can see here, at the end of the month, he has a negative of £144. Yeah? Now, this is going to be very difficult for this man to start a regular investment account, because where is the money going to come from? He will soon be closing that investment account down because he's going to have a shortfall. But if you can do this, you can then have a critical look at your chart and say, am I spending too much money on gifts? Am I spending too much money on entertainment? Can we get our groceries cheaper? Can we get cheaper insurance? But you can see, unless you have a clear picture of where you are, you're not going to know where you can save money or where you're losing money. You know, I always tell people the one way you can become very wealthy and acquire financial freedom is through delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is the key to becoming financially free. Because most people, they want everything now. And with that mentality, you spend everything now. Well, that's why the country is in a mess too. Everybody wants everything now. Nobody is looking towards the future. So they spend what is meant for the future now. Whereas if you can have delayed gratification, say, okay, instead of buying a brand new car, I would drive a cheap car. Instead of paying higher purchase loans on cars and credit cards, I would just live frugally, invest wisely, be wise with my money, and then when you make millions, you can buy what you want and live a life of Riley then. Delayed gratification. David Beckham is a good example, and there are so many examples. But here's one example. When his friends were going to nightclubs, chasing girls, drinking, he left his home in London, went to Manchester, was in digs, practicing his football every day. He delayed the gratification of having fun like all his friends. Put his head down, worked hard. He didn't know he was going to be successful. Nobody knows that. At the time he left home to go to Manchester and give up his friends, family, and all that, he did not know he was going to be successful. That was delayed gratification. He put in the hard work, and now he's reaping the benefits. But his friends who went to have fun then, have a good time, where are they now? So delayed gratification. So you have to decide, and that's where you have to have a control of your finances. It's very, very important. Because without this, you know, where are you going to save? You know, so sometimes I always tell people, yes, it might sound small, oh, 50 pounds a month or 30 pounds a month to save. Oh, I can do that easily. But it's like, really? Can you really do it easily? And tuck away money every month without having to worry about it. But until you do that, you know, that's the responsible way to do it. Oh, the other thing I was going to show is that what happens if this couple lose their jobs? Any guesses? What happens if they lose their job? Do the expenses go away? Sorry? Exactly. The expenses are still there. Because again, I always get people to realize that, yes, do study, do get a job, get a 9-to-5 job so you can pay the bills, but start thinking about creating other sources of income that you are in control of. Because if you lose your job,